When I first met Lisa, I believed she was the kind of woman who valued loyalty and honesty. We had built our life together over 12 years, from a tiny apartment to a comfortable home that reflected our shared hard work. I handled most of the finances because I owned a small tech company that had recently started doing well. Lisa worked part-time as a designer and often joked that she was lucky to have a man who could handle everything. I didn't realize then how that joke would come back to haunt me. Things started to shift when Lisa joined an online business group to expand her network. She began talking about a man named Derek, a supposed investor who understood real success. At first, I thought nothing of it, until her phone buzzed constantly and she'd smile in ways she hadn't in years. When I asked, she'd brush it off, saying, "It's just work, you wouldn't understand." I wanted to trust her, but something in my gut warned me this wasn't business. One evening, while she was in the shower, I saw a message flash across her phone. Asterisk, once you get the divorce, we'll be free and rich. Asterisk, my stomach dropped. I scrolled through the thread, messages about transferring property, hidden accounts, and even her plan to take me for everything before leaving. My own wife was plotting with a con artist to drain me dry. I didn't confront her right away. Instead, I began documenting everything, screenshots, emails, and recordings. I also contacted a lawyer and a private investigator to confirm Derek's background. Within a week, I learned he was a known scammer who targeted married women, convincing them to get a divorce and take half their husband's assets, only to vanish once they cashed out. Lisa wasn't just cheating, she was being played herself. I decided to play along. I acted distant, pretending to be clueless and heartbroken, while secretly moving my assets to secure accounts under my company's name. I even created a fake financial statement, showing much less money than we actually had. Meanwhile, I told my lawyer to prepare for what was coming. A few days later, Lisa served me divorce papers at breakfast. She said it with fake tears and trembling hands, "I just don't love you anymore." I nodded quietly, pretending to be crushed. I told her she could have whatever she wanted and walked away, leaving her thinking she had won. She started spending more time with Derek, even flaunting her new freedom online. When the court date came, Lisa was confident. She claimed I had emotional distance, and that she deserved a fair share of everything. Her lawyer presented the fake financial report I'd accidentally left on my desk. She didn't realize it was all part of my plan. My lawyer, calm and prepared, submitted the real documents, showing that Lisa had transferred thousands of dollars to Derek and that she had forged signatures on several company forms. The judge's face darkened immediately. Lisa's confidence shattered as the evidence unfolded. Screenshots of her messages, phone logs, and bank transfers painted a picture of deceit. Derek, the man she thought was her ticket to a rich future, disappeared right after hearing about the investigation. It turned out he'd drained the joint account she'd opened for them and fled the country. By the end of the trial, the judge dismissed all her claims and granted me full control of our shared property. Lisa was left with nothing, no house, no money, and no man. When she tried to confront me outside the courthouse, I simply said, "You tried to scam the wrong person." She broke down crying, realizing she'd lost everything to her own greed. Over the next few months, I focused on rebuilding my peace rather than celebrating revenge. I donated part of my profits to a charity that helped victims of financial scams, people who, unlike Lisa, didn't choose deceit. It gave me some closure, knowing that the money she tried to steal would help someone in need. Lisa eventually tried to reach out again, apologizing and claiming Derek had brainwashed her. But apologies meant little when they came only after losing. I didn't respond. I had already learned that some betrayals don't deserve a second chance. My company continued to grow, and I found myself surrounded by genuine people again. Friends who had quietly supported me during the chaos now became like family. The storm Lisa brought into my life had cleared away everything false and left only truth behind. Sometimes I still think about how close I came to losing everything, not because of money, but because of misplaced trust. Love without loyalty is just a story waiting to collapse, and I had lived through that collapse firsthand. In the end, revenge wasn't about destroying her life, it was about protecting my own and reclaiming my dignity. I didn't have to hurt her. She did that all by herself. I simply stepped aside and let her lies burn down everything she'd built on deceit. And as I stood on my office balcony one evening, watching the sunset after months of chaos, I finally smiled. Not because I'd won, but because I was free. Free from betrayal, manipulation, and the woman who tried to con the wrong man.